biscuit baking, rooster hollering hello in the morning when I'm waking, like soft summer sunshine melting ice when winter's making. All the love, warmth, and beauty is here for the taking. Give me some home cooking, that's what you are to me. Good old home cooking, there's no place I'd rather be. Home cooking, everything's sweet, everything's fine. Home cooking, making my whole world divine. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Like stumbling to the kitchen, smell of smoking, bacon shaking. Welcome at the door, tails are wagging, hearts are breaking. Just as sweet as Grandma Hazel's lemon pie or carrot cake. And I feel happy, so grateful. To me, there's no mistaking. Give me some home cooking, that's what you are to me. Good old home cooking, there's no place I'd rather be. Bring it on, home cooking, everything sweet, everything fine. Home cooking, making my whole world divine. Oh yeah. Fill my belly and my jam jars too. It's good old home cooking when I'm coming on home to you. Fill my belly and my jam jars too. It's good old home cooking when I'm coming on home to you. Give me some home cooking, that's what you are to me. Good old home cooking, no place I'd rather be. Bring it on, home cooking, everything sweet, everything fine. Home cooking, making my whole world divine. Woo! You make my world divine.
Made it through.
Yay, we haven't done that in a long time. So we found out, I didn't even really know this, even though I've known him a couple of years and had some classes with him, but we found out that Reverend Ken is actually a singer. So he's going to come up and sing with the band on this next one. Ready?
And I'd like to thank Rick for indulging me in the song. This was a last-minute request. It's been on my mind all week because the whole theme of this thing is home. And I'm a child of the 80s, so thank you for indulging me of this. It's real simple sing-along, so I think you'll get the words. Father wears his Sunday best. Mother's tired, she needs a rest. The kids are playing up downstairs. Sister's sighing in her sleep. Brother's got a date to keep. He can't hang around. Here we go. Our house in the middle of a street. Our house in the middle of our house. It has a crowd. There's usually something happening, and it's usually quite loud. Our mom, she's so house proud. Nothing ever slow her down, and a mess is not allowed. Our house in the middle of a street. Our house in the middle of our house in the middle of a street. Our house was our castle and our keep. Our house was our castle and our keep. Our house in the middle of a street.
Let's hear it for Reverend
Thank you very
Ken.
much.
You know what? You are the bomb.
Okay.
I told you there are a lot of reverends in Unity that actually are music and ministry. Here's another one. So is it time?
Yeah. Perfect timing.
So good morning, Unity of the Oaks, and welcome. We're so grateful that you came to be with us today. We know that you could decide to be anywhere on a Sunday. At least it's not as rainy as it was all weekend. But you are here by divine appointment. And we all know that there is one presence and one power. I'm calling it divine love today, and it is active in our life and flows in and out and through each and every one of us right here today. This room is palpable with love, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I can't help but say it every Sunday. It's our slice of heaven. It is really, truly my slice of heaven. So we want to welcome Reverend Ken. You just got to hear a little demonstration of his, not karaoke because we had a live band, but apparently you do that really well too. We are so excited to have you here. Rick and I had the pleasure of hosting Reverend Ken and his beautiful wife, Allison, who's right there, for the last couple of days, and we just had a really wonderful time sharing and digging in and just laughing and just having a blast. Reverend Ken has been with us before. These two live in San Diego, so they drove up here to be with us. Reverend Ken delivers his message with a joy of spirit, and you will notice how dynamic and engaging he is when you see him get up here. He takes this very much to heart and puts a lot of his soul into everything he does. He's, as his wife said so beautifully, he's just incredibly charismatic, and you'll fall in love with him, as we all have. He also graduated from Unity Urban Ministerial School and became ordained in 2021, and we had a few classes together, and he had some with Reverend Stacy too, and that's how we met. So right now it is time for us to greet each other. Say hello to your neighbor, and if you don't know who that person is, just introduce yourself, and we'll say hi to those who are going to join us later online. We're so grateful you're here. Yay. By the way, Reverend Ken promises us that when the weather is back, he will come and lead that walk in wild wonder for us that we all missed out on yesterday, okay? So we'll sign up for it again, and we'll look forward to that. So that's it. We're now going to do our opening song. Everybody knows it really well. It was one of Reverend Ken's choices, Living in the Heart of God. So stand up and join us. Here we go. Nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. Nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. Sing out. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. Nothing is ever, the morning sun reflects our faith, centered in God's loving grace. The joy we share shows on your face, living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. Let's do it one more time. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. Yes, we are. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. Thank you, everyone. One more thing to do. I actually think I'm still up here. One more thing, Lucy. I've got the opening prayer, so just stay right there. I know it's a little different because we're kind of breaking up the welcome and the opening prayer. So we'll get used to it. Let's take a deep breath together, a collective breath, and settle into our chairs so we can feel the presence, be the presence, allow the presence to flow in and out and through us right now. We're just going to close our eyes. Rest your hands. Beloved presence, we are so grateful for this precious moment in time together. We thank you for opening our minds and our hearts to receive this inspired message and music today. We know that we will leave here full to overflowing with more wisdom and understanding to light our way. We thank you for the fellowship and the love and the joy that being a part of this blessed community offers each one of us. We're so grateful for each other. And we thank you all for being with us today and for blessing the space with your presence and your love. And so it is. Amen.
Wherever I am, I'm home. Even when I'm wandering the world alone, it doesn't matter where I go. Oh no, wherever I am, I'm home. Wherever I am, I'm home. Even when I'm wandering the world alone, it doesn't matter where I go, wherever I go, I'm home. I'm home, I'm home, I'm home, I'm home, I'm home, I'm home.
Good morning. I'm Lucy. Can you hear me? Okay. I'm one of the members of the Unity of the Oaks prayer team, Lucy. We'll be available to pray with you after the service. If any of you need prayer, write your name on the list and I will be sure to get you and pray with you. And now let's prepare for our time of meditation with the reading of the daily word. And this daily word is, if I can get loose, is home. And it's from February 7th, 2018, so it's a long time ago. The affirmation, home, is the awareness that wherever I am, God is. Why don't we all say that together? Home is awareness that wherever I am, God is. As I reflect on what the word home means to me, I know it's not limited to my external place. Home can be found in my heart, my thoughts, move from physical structures to memories and emotions attached to them. I am at home when I turn my thoughts to God, life within. I experience a welcome home each time I go within and make conscious connection with Spirit. Centered in the awareness of my oneness, I feel safe and at peace. My search for home may lead me down many paths, including religion, spiritual study, and meditation practices. These experiences teach me home is the awareness that wherever I am, God is. And from 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 5, He who has prepared us for the very is God, who has given us the Spirit as a guarantee. And so it is.
And now we move into a time of meditation. Some call it mindfulness. Some refer it to as contemplation. But it's a time to come away for a while. So I invite you in this moment to make yourselves a home. Make yourselves at home. What does that look like? I invite you to get relaxed in your seat as if you're sitting in your living room, maybe snuggled up in your favorite blanket. I invite you to close your eyes if you so feel called. Maybe close them halfway. Let's take a deep collective breath now. Breathing in, taking in that oxygen, letting it sit in your lungs for a second, and just releasing. And as we release, we just release everything that went on before this moment, making ourselves more and more comfortable here in the space and home. And as you connect with your own rhythm of breathing, nice, relaxing, in, holding for a moment, and breathing out, I invite you to make yourself at home in your body now. Pay attention for a moment to how it feels. Do you have any aches or pains? Do you have any twitches? Feel those begin to relax. Any tension or worry, pain. Energy, spirit is already working in your body to heal those things that need to be healed. I invite you now to make yourself at home in your mind. With each breath, feel any thoughts, any worries or concern dissipate, just like the clouds today. Let that chattering voice inside silence. Feel it quiet down. And as the noise and cacophony begin to silence, feel your mind just become a blank slate. A blank slate to hear these words as we make ourselves at home in spirit now. My home is God. In God I live and move and have my being. My home is God. In God I live and move and have my being. I am at home in God, where I live and move and have my being. And we let these words sink in now, vibrate in us for a few moments in the silence, in the silence, in the silence. My home is God. In God, I live and move and have my being. So as we move ourselves out of this time of deeper contemplation, I invite you, as you make yourself at home in spirit, to stay connected with that peace, that presence, that comfort. I invite you to stay in the clarity in your mind. And I invite you to experience the calm, the healing, and the relaxation in your body throughout this afternoon, throughout the day, throughout the week. We give thanks right now to Divine Spirit, who we live and move and have our being and experience all these wonderful blessings. Amen.
Place the flowers in the vase that you bought today. Staring at the fire for hours and hours while I listen to you play your love songs all night long. Such a cozy room. The windows are illuminated by the evening. Sun shines through them, fiery gems for you, only for you. Our house is a very, very, very fine house with 2 cats in the yard. Life used to be so hard. Now everything is easy 'cause of you. Ooh, la 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 la. La you place the flowers in the vase that you bought today.
Well, thank you, music team, and Reverend Sherry and Rick. Beautiful, beautiful songs. I'm so blessed to be here with all of you. And I just have to say, there's no place like home, and there's no place like being at Unity of the Oaks today. I see so many familiar faces. It's only been, maybe a year and a half or so since I was last here at the old building. So it's great to be here in your new digs. And you did such a great job. Give yourselves a hand. I'm just amazed at the transformation of this little office space I drove into. And I'm going, okay, kind of what weaved around in there. And I walked in and saw this space you created in the middle of, the office. And it's just amazing. So thank you so much for providing this space and inviting me to come here and spend some time with you today. As Reverend Sherry shared, I'm from Santee, California, and my wife and I have a home down there. And we've been doing a lot of work on our home. We started about maybe, 4 months ago doing a remodel on our bathrooms, and we did all the floors. And my wife really wanted to have this done. It would make her happy. And they say, happy wife, happy life. So I'm all for it. She planned this while I was at the village on a convention, so I didn't have much say in it. I got back and said, this is what's going to be done. Well, we got done with the kitchen and the floors, then we decided, our guy that did the work for us, he's a painter too. So we're like, hey, we're really happy with your work on the kitchen. If you do painting, we would love to have you paint the house. And our house has been, we've had it for about 12 years or so, and it's a little worn. So the painter came in and he painted right before the last storm. Right before the last storm. And the paint didn't do so well. So there were some spots. So I was climbing up the ladder because we had another storm coming on the way, the big storms we had. And I climbed up to my roof and I was investigating some of the damage or some of the stuff that had to be cleaned. And I'm sitting up there. I climbed up and I thought, okay, I'm going to clean out my rain gutters because they haven't been cleaned in years. So I thought, okay, I want the water to be able to go someplace. So I'm up there with my little bucket, my big bucket, my 5-gallon bucket, my little trowel, being very careful because my luck, I didn't want to go sliding off the roof and cracking my head. And I start to clean my gutters, and it was just a bunch of muck and guck in there that rolled down from the roof. And as I was sitting there, I got really contemplative. It was kind of relaxing. I had a view of the neighborhood and all the houses, and I was looking out, and I could see things on my house. And what came to me in that moment was, I need to spend a little more time at home. I need to spend a little more time on maintenance on my house because I started seeing things that needed fixing. I'm a traveling minister, and I travel quite a bit now, guest speaking amongst the San Diego area and LA area. Now that we're back in church in person, I'm here physically, and I enjoy it. It's part of my DNA and part of who I am. But there's that other part that says, wait a second, you need to pay more attention to the house and what's going on. So I started taking this a little further in my thoughts as I'm scrunching out the muck and filling up the bucket and just looking out. And I started thinking about other aspects of my life. The thoughts I'm holding or the relationships I have. Those need maintenance. So what happens? We don't maintain things. Whether we live in an apartment or an RV or wherever we live or whatever we have, things start to deteriorate over time. And so they do require maintenance. So this idea of home, of being back home, in the Gospel of John, chapter 14, verse 2 out of the World English Bible, it says, in my Father's house are many homes. If it weren't so, I would have told you. I'm going to prepare a place for you. And so this idea of homes, there's one big home that we have in God. And in that home, there's different levels of consciousness. We hear in Unity a lot about consciousness. So home is where we make it. And the question I invite you to consider today is, where am I at home? Where is my home? There's a movie I love, and you'll recognize the line, "There's no place like home," The Wizard of Oz. Everybody's seen it, right? Yes. Is there the one person in the group that hasn't seen it? No. Okay, because I didn't want to have to give a spoiler alert for The Wizard of Oz. But it's this idea, in The Wizard of Oz, of course, you know how the kind of story is. Dorothy's on her farm in Kansas, and, her and her dog Toto are out and about, and there's that mean old lady on the bicycle that's running around, and Toto does something to her, and she gets mad. Dorothy runs back to Auntie Em, and she's in big trouble, and Auntie Em scolds her, and she either hits her head or takes a nap or something, but she goes into her room, and all of a sudden, she wakes up and things start happening. A tornado is coming, right? And they're going, Dorothy, get in the cellar. She doesn't wake up, and the house gets lifted and all that good stuff. So Dorothy goes off and away. And this home lands, crash, bam, in the middle of this crazy place. So she's almost into a new home. She doesn't know how to get back home. So what we're looking at today is the idea of home, wherever we're at. The idea of not what and where we call home, but really where we make ourselves at home. Where we make ourselves at home. So it's important to note here that every home serves a purpose. We've all had how many homes, various homes in our life, most of us, right? When we were born or a young person, we had a childhood home. And then maybe as a child, depending on our parents' situation, we might have moved several times. And we go into young adulthood, maybe our late teens and college. And we might move away to college and have another home set up, like a dorm situation, or a frat house maybe, or a sorority in some people's places. And then we go into this another cycle of adulthood, where we might get married and have children, and have our own home. And that home might look a lot different to people. It might have been an apartment, or we might have had to upgrade to a bigger home. So there's all these different types of homes, and homes could also include physical locations. Also include our spiritual homes, right? Some of us may have had several spiritual homes during our lifetime. So we can take a note of that and just consider how many homes we've had in our lifetime. And in addition to all that, the physical locations like the Unity Church we're in right here, or the various homes we've had, we also can make our home in body, our soul, and our spirit. And the foundation we build in each of these and the ongoing stewardship and care we give to them will determine the quality of life we live. So 2 things I just want you to consider in this talk is that, life is consciousness. So again, this many homes of consciousness, but then we're going to go and look at the 3 main homes that I think are very important. These 3, I call them 3 models of homes. Because sometimes I think when I was doing this talk, I considered God as like like one of those communities, like a township, right? And within the township, you have all these different styles of homes. You've got these suburban planned communities that have cute little names like Avalon. And then you have models of homes within those communities, right? Like the Wayfar and the Awesome Home and all these different names. So within that community, you have all these different styles of homes. When I was staying with Reverend Sherry, it was really weird because you go in and there's a palace, and then there's a farm home, and then there's this little cabin-looking home. And so each of them have their own personality. And so these are the different types of homes in consciousness that we can dwell in. So you're ready to look at these 3 models of homes? Yes? Yes? And we're going to learn from these how we can maintain these homes, how we have good stewardship with these homes, and we can build off that foundation and reach a higher level of consciousness to operate out of. So the first home is in spirit. That's where it all begins. That's the big home. My Father's home. That Father, that God, that overarching home, and within that home is all these other little homes, all these other little levels of consciousness. That's where we get our affirmation. My home is God, and in God I live and move and have my being. And let's say that together once. My home is God. I live and move and have my being. This is the one home that we can never leave. We can never leave this home. It's like that Eagles song, the Hotel California. You ever heard that song? There's a line in it that says, you can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. You can never leave this home. Because why? It's always with us. It's always in us. We may not see it. We may be existing in different homes, or some say rooms within the home, or some say in different interpretations of the Bible, many mansions. But it's all the same thing. It's different levels of consciousness. And that spirit within, that divine mind, whatever you want to call God, is saying, make yourself at home in my home. Make yourself at home in my home. It's like the family compounds, right? You ever see those compounds where the parents buy a big chunk of land and they have 5 homes on it and they want their kids to come and live with them? Not everybody. Some people are like, no, you've got your own place. We're good here. But some families, some parents have the means and they build these family compounds. And that's basically what Spirit wants. They want us to live at home all the time and provide for us. Everything is provided. I want that deal still. Long gone, but... And so Jesus, our way shower, showed us that when he said, I go and prepare a place for you. Christ mind. So I'd like you to think about in this home of spirit, right? This main home, we have the penthouse suite. We have the best suite. It's got the best, nice, cushiest towels and the warmest blankets and everything. Everything we could want. It's the penthouse of possibility, prosperity, and peace. All good things come from there and are located there if we can raise our consciousness to that level and move into it. That's all we have to do, is be willing to move in. So again, that first home of spirit. The second home is our soul. And from Romans chapter 12, verse 2 from the New American Standard Bible, it says, and do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may prove the will of God, what the will of God is, and that which is good and acceptable and perfect. Our third unity principle, right? Our thoughts. Our thoughts control our reality, the thoughts we think. This is where the real building blocks come in, and this is where we choose to reside in these different levels of consciousness. So consciousness, just for a quick review, is basically that it's a composite of ideas, thoughts, and emotions, sensations, and all the knowledge. Everything that makes up the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious phases of mind. It includes all that we are aware of in spirit, soul, and body. It's the culmination of everything. I also like to think of it as living bricks. Thoughts, coupled with our feelings and our emotions, compose those bricks that we build our foundation off of. So when we consider this, in our conscious mind or thinking mind, what kind of thoughts are we holding? Day to day, what kind of thoughts are we holding? What kind of thoughts about our relationships? What kind of thoughts do we hold about our bodies? What kind of thoughts do we have about others? What kind of thoughts do we hold about the world around us? That affirmation we just used is a positive statement. It's a positive thought. So the idea is to work at building our bricks with those conscious thoughts and then attaching them to those feelings and emotions. Where are we making ourselves at home? Are we making ourselves at home in thoughts of negativity? Or maybe we're making our home in feelings of anger and frustration. That's where we're making ourselves at home. Or are we making ourselves at home in thoughts of constructive work, thoughts of healing, thoughts of wholeness, thoughts of prosperity, feelings of joy, feelings of compassion, feelings of happiness and comfort. Is that what we're building our bricks? And that's what we're making ourselves. So in our mind, in these homes we build, in this greater home or this greater community of spirit, where are we living? Are we living in a double-wide trailer with pink flamingos in there and patchwork Bermuda grass? Or are we living in a clean, nice, beautiful home that we've built with these thoughts, these positive thoughts, feelings, and emotions? We have the control over that. We're the architects and builders that can make that happen. So again, the conscious part is that thinking. The subconscious part picks up on all that. I like to think of the subconscious is the little, like when you have those housing communities, like the HOAs, and they have those common areas. That's kind of what the subconscious is. It's the common area between our conscious thinking in the world mind and also our superconscious, or that God mind. It's that meeting place. So our ideas funnel into that subconscious area and make it to the superconscious, or that God mind, and vice versa. The God mind sends those divine ideas into that meeting space where we pick up on them, and they come into our conscious waking awareness to where we can put them forth in our everyday experience, in our relationships, in our jobs, in our volunteer work, in our churches, in our political stuff, wherever we are, and make a difference in our world. So understanding that's where we begin to build and begin to, when we're in that double-wide trailer, we've got the desire to return to that beautiful home, that beautiful penthouse where we live and reside in God. We always have that desire in us. And lastly, the body. From 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16, from the New Revised Standard Version, it says, "Do you not know that you are God's temple and that God's Spirit dwells within you?" We are the temples of that living Spirit. In our second unity principle, the first principle says there is one power, one presence active in the universe, God, the good. But in our second unity principle, that seed of God, the Christ seed that Jesus acknowledged and realized and drew his power from, we have that in ourselves too. We have the ability to tap into that power. The universe is located within us. So I like to look at this as the room addition to our spirit and soul homes. Because the spirit and the soul are unseen, but our physical bodies are the three-dimensional manifestation of that. This is where we put those divine ideas, those principles, that impetus to love, that impetus to comfort, that impetus for kindness. That's where we come and bring this forth into the world. And so the question I invite you to think about, because I've been thinking about it a lot lately, as I broke a zipper on my pants this morning. I'll share that with you. I had my wardrobe malfunction. I know, Reverend Ken, too much information, but I got to thinking about in this whole thing of maintenance and stewardship, of our resources, our spirit, our soul, and our body. And I'm like, okay, I've got a little stewardship to do here. So our bodies, what are we putting into our bodies? Do we get enough exercise? Do we get enough rest? Are we kind to ourselves? Do we pamper ourselves? Do we take care of those tight muscles? Those kinds of things. Do we spoil ourselves and maybe get the good soap, that has the nice lotion in it and, really good for our skin? But those kinds of things. The body is our temple. And it's important to take care of that. In this day and age, it seems to get harder and harder. But respecting our bodies and recognizing them, again, as a temple. And again, this is our addition to our spiritual home and our soul homes. This is where it all resides, and these are all one. Many homes, many mansions, many rooms. It plays into the 2 Corinthians, verse 5, chapter 1. "For we know that if our earthly house is of this tabernacle were dissolved, we have a building of God and a house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens." So what that means is there's no fear of death. Yeah, we have these physical bodies, and yeah, they eventually go. We take as best care of them as we can, but eventually they're going to return. But our spirit, our soul, and our spirit and our soul are eternal. So we don't have to think about death. What we build, what we take care of in our spirit and our soul will drive that. That's our true home, but our bodies are an extension of that, simply an extension. And the more we take care of them, the better an extension it will be. So in Dorothy's case, she lands the house lands, she goes through an adventure and decides she's in Oz, this really crazy, beautiful place, but she gets to Oz and it gets all colorful. Her house was dreary and drab, and she's like, I want to go home. I want to go home. And so the whole time she spends trying to get back home, and they're like, you know what? You got to go see the wizard. So she goes to see the wizard. The wizard wants the witch's broom and all this extra stuff. And so she gets that. Everybody gets their stuff. The Tin Man gets his heart. The lion gets his strength. The scarecrow gets his brain. I'm on a roll here. And yet Dorothy misses her ride home. What happens to that balloon? Remember the wizard takes her on the balloon, it takes off? So she's looking to all these external things to get her back home. Once the balloon goes and the wizard takes off with it, she's upset. And guess what? Here comes the good witch, right? Oh, comes down and says, Dorothy, all you have to do is click your slippers 3 times and say, there's no place like home. There's no place like home. And I could imagine Dorothy going, in the uncut or the cut version, the one they didn't show, going, really? You could have told me that earlier before I went on this whole journey, but that was part of it. She changed in that journey. So Dorothy clicked her slippers 3 times and said, there's no place like home, and instantly found herself back in the room of the home where it all began. And this time, even though it was still black and white and gray and the home still kind of looked the same, she was surrounded by all her loved ones and her family. And she says to them, if I ever go looking for my heart's desire again, I won't look any further than my own backyard. Because if it isn't there, I never really lost it to begin with. Is that right? And it goes with that saying, wherever I go, there I am. There's no spot where God is not. So, in other words, we always have the ruby slippers on, and I look pretty good in them. But all we have to do is just remember, there's no place like home. Because when we're at home, in that primary residence, in that Christ presence, that penthouse, like I said, that Christ consciousness, our homes in body, soul, and spirit are complete. We're furnished with all the divine attributes and ideas to prosper. And no matter how dreary and gray our homes might be, however broken down, we, the people of spirit, the people in soul and body, would rather live there than any other country. Be it ever so beautiful, we are at home in spirit, and there is no place like home. Thank you, and God bless.
Wow, that was so awesome. Thank you so much. You can join us on this if you want.
Living in the house of the soul's belonging, where you know without a doubt that you've made it home. kingdom of love. There is no competition, no contradiction, and no control. You can take possession and claim your passion, working on a building that cannot be bought or sold. Living in the house of a soul's belonging, where you know without a doubt that you made it home. Yeah, living in the house of the soul's belonging, coming back to the holy ground that you've always known. Well, step into the feeling of sweet surrender and let yourself remember just who you are. You can take your own sweet time and ease your troubled mind in the secret sanctuary of your heart. Look out. Said we're living in the house of the soul's belonging, living in the house where we know without a doubt that you made it home. Oh yeah, living in the house of a soul's belonging. Yeah, coming back to the holy ground that you've always known. Coming back to the holy ground that you've always known. Let's do it again. Coming back to the holy ground that you've always known. I like that.
Hello, so nice to see all these beautiful faces out here. Thank you so much, Reverend Ken. That was absolutely beautiful. Thank you. Yes. And I'm certainly going to think of my home in a different way. Okay, anyway, as most of you know, I am Melba, and I'm your board member of the day. And here is our mission, if you will please read it with me. Unity of the Oaks is a loving, accepting, and heart-centered spiritual community, here to be love in action, to encourage personal growth, awaken spiritual curiosity, and transform lives. If you would like to bless us with a love offering, we have several ways for you to give. In the seat in front of you are envelopes for cash or check. Make sure to include your name if you would like a record of your donation. You'll also find our text to give information. At any time, you can visit our website to give. If you have given electronically, please bless the basket, then pass it along. Now let's take a few moments to focus our attention on our giving heart as we feel the abundance of receiving. We visualize the mission statement coming to life. Now please join me in the love offering blessing. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love, and I trust God. We are most grateful for all of your contributions to our community as we grow it with lots of events and classes, which is what Summer is going to tell you about.
Well, good morning, everybody. How are y'all doing? Good morning. I'm Summer, and we have some very short announcements for you. All right. Next week is the last week to donate wrapped toothbrushes and toothpaste for newly arrived refugee families to the area via the basket in the back. And also next week is our Bring a Friend Sunday, so make sure you bring a friend, and we will have a special gift for you. And then in 2 weeks, Reverend Blair Tabor is coming to speak and lead a prosperity workshop after service. And this information can be found in the email newsletter we send out each week, so make sure you're signed up. Oh, also, before I forget, we need some platform readers. It's Layla in the back, me, and Betsy. So if you're interested, talk to Lynn's in the back. And Tommy might give you your own theme song, so that's really exciting. That's a bonus. So make sure you talk to Lynn's in the back. Thank you so much, and now Rev Sherry.
Thanks, baby. Ooh, shock. Got a little electric shock there, Summer. Wow, good. I was going to remind everybody about that, stepping in and maybe serving in that way. So let me find my notes, because there's a few things to say here. First of all, we want to congratulate you for an amazing talk, Reverend Ken, and thank you for just filling us to the brim. Don't forget, everyone, that right after hospitality, just go grab yourself a bite and come back in, and we're going to do a Q&A with Reverend Ken. He's going to discuss his talk if you have any questions, and that'll be a lot of fun. So we want to do that just right after. Sounds good, because they might have to get back to San Diego pretty soon. You're not in a rush. Okay, that's good. I also want to thank Summer for being the doing the platform announcement, and telling all of our wonderful people who might want to join us in serving in that way that we really have places for you. We have positions if you want to serve. Let us know. We'd love to have you. And it's birthday Sunday, by the way. Do we have birthdays up here? So we want to say happy birthday to Karen Wright, Lucy Nye, Betsy Couturier, Stacy Macris Ross, Sharon Beck, Susan Stewart, Twyla Nair, Scott Quintard, Becky Tybolt, and April Jules. Yay! Do you want to sing a little happy birthday? To also thanks Suwan, but I don't think she's here, for stepping in to cover for Lynn's last week, and Summer and Layla, who assisted her. And I'd like to invite Lisa Flores to come up, if you don't mind. And does Jules happen to be here? No, okay. We would love to have this amazing new leader step up, because we didn't get to acknowledge her last week when we did the talk on the big leap, right? Lisa made a big leap to step into service as our secretary of the Board of Trustees for Unity of the Oaks. What a big leap, and that is we're so grateful and so greatly appreciated. And this is a little something for you. Yes, it's a little wet. Okay. Oh, you know what? Take the whole thing. Yeah, I think you might be better off. Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much, Lisa. We will do our little induction thing with you at our board meeting on Thursday, right? We have board meeting on Thursday. Let's do the blessing. Wait, right here. We want to put our hands together, and we want to give you a love blessing. Lisa. Ready, everyone? We love you. We bless you. We truly appreciate you, and we behold the Christ you are. Absolutely. Mwah. I think that's about it. We have our prayer chaplain available. Lucy, you're the one today, right? And we have a little note on the door. So if you want to find her, if you need her and someone's in there, she will put your name on the paper and she'll come and find you. There's also a prayer box in the back that you can leave a prayer in. We will hold that prayer for you for 30 days. And I think that's all we have to say right now. Thank you for joining us. Let's sing our peace song.
with each other, perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, joyous vow to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. The light of God surrounds us. We are the light. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love. The power of God protects us. We are that God. The presence of God watches over us. We are the presence. Wherever we are, God is. And all is home sweet home.